And before I show you the new steps of the recommender evaluation, I want to show you how it would be done otherwise in the platform, because you could technically do it, but it would be very iterative, as you will see here. So what you would have to do is to basically bring your data, load your data, and then you would have to iteratively sample from your data using the different next test recommender kind of feature, gather the new points, and then go and get the results for these new points and iterate on each recommender for each new batch of data. And you can see it's really, really lengthy, and it's a lot of effort. But in the end, here we were reaching the conclusion. So you can see this is the kind of plot I've presented before. So you could get to this sort of plots. And here you're actually showing that the next test recommender beats random and the full factorial approach, but it's been a lot of effort to produce the graph, and we only have a few points. And we realized this is something that people will want to do all the time, and all that is being done here could be grouped into one single step. And so now I'm going to move on to another notebook where we're going to approach the same workflow I've just presented before. So I'm loading existing tests from previous campaign, and then I'm applying the next test recommender evaluation. So here I'm saying, this is the data I want to use the evaluator on, and this is the inputs for which I want a recommendation, and this is the outputs that I want to better understand. I can decide to compare to the original order of the table if I want to compare to the way I've done it. And then I just click apply. So here, I'm not going to relaunch it, but that's the kind of curves you would get, which is similar to the one I just commented. And here again, you can see the ordered one is quite bad. Random is better, but all the recommenders would be better than random. And actually, the first recommender here seems to be the best. So that would give me the insight that, yes, I should use one of the recommenders because they're better, and recommender one is the best to use, so I should go on with recommender one. And just so that you realize, this step here took us more than 100, I think it's 110 steps to get the curve that I just presented in the other notebook. Now it's all done in just one single step with actually multiple repeats of each curve to get a more robust plot. So once I've seen this plot, I can make my decision that recommender one is the best, and then I can bring my new data. So here, this is test from my current campaign. So I would have a lot less points here. I think it's just 20 points available. And here I would apply the next test recommender using recommender one. And I would be told, oh, this is the points that you should go and test. And so you could just go and test them. What I've done in this notebook is that I've actually used the next test recommender with all three recommenders to show you how you can also interact with the suggestions from the platform. So you could just go and test the 5 recommendations from the first recommender, which was the best, but you could also ask for other recommendations and basically put it all in one graph. So here, for example, you would have a graph where in kind of purple, you can see the test you've already done in your current campaign. And the other colors would be the 5 recommendations for each of the recommender. And you can see if there's any pattern, if there's any agreement between the recommenders. For example, recommender 1 and 2, they seem to say we should test in this region. 1 and 3 seem to agree that you should test here. And then recommender 2 seems to have quite a few tests suggested in this region. So that can, like, the user can look and visualize the data to make a decision on which test they actually want to go and test. And then they would go test it and iterate on this. And so what I've showed here is how you would build a notebook to do this. But then when you share with a colleague, for example, they might not want to have to go through your whole notebook. So what you can do is, at the very top here, you could just click and create a new dashboard. So when you create a dashboard, click here, you select the steps that you want to use, and then you can lay them out. And I've just done this before, and you can reach this sort of dashboard that is nicely laid out where a user can bring data from a previous campaign, for example, and data from their current campaign. And so the data from the previous campaign can be used to produce the plot, so you can be informed on what recommender works well with this type of data. And the new data is used to provide the recommendations for the next test, for different recommenders with the ability to see it potentially as well. And so another user could come and just consume this dashboard, bring existing data, bring new data, and know what then they should be testing. And actually, one thing here is that's one way to consume the result, which is through a dashboard. Another way is to use APIs as well. So if you don't want to have to come each time in the platform to look at the result, you could use APIs to just send to the Monolith platform the test that you've done already and ask for the platform to send back the recommended tests. And so you don't have to kind of interact much with the platform. You just receive automatically a list of the next test and you go and test them. So that's how it looks in the platform.